In the first 8 months of running my life insurance agency, we did over $1 million in sales, and me myself averaging anywhere from 30 to 40,000 a month in commission with my own pen selling. And in this video, I'm gonna go over 11 things you need to know before getting into the industry. So whether you've been recruited by someone or you're looking to get into life insurance sales, please watch this video because it will save you from so many stupid, expensive mistakes, and it will cover every single thing you need to know, whether it's commission structure, overrides, how to actually build a team, every single thing A to Z. So let's dive in. So the first step in the process is to get licensed, right? So again, before you can sell any policy, you have to be licensed with the state that you're currently in. So I'm from Texas, so I get licensed with the state of Texas, right? And with that, it's only a couple steps. Number one, you have to take a course to learn the material on the actual exam. So some states, they will require you to actually complete a certain amount of hours of studying. Texas didn't. We can take the test whenever. When you're done with that and you actually know the material, you feel confident, you can schedule your state exam. So when you pass the state exam, again, some states have different rules. I have to go in person. I know in Cali, they can do online, depends on your state. ChatGPT it to make sure you know. So when you pass the exam, again, some state require fingerprinting, some don't, and your license get issued. I would say 6 weeks on the high end, like I've seen up to 6, but usually it's anywhere from 1 or 2 weeks, right? And most people are like, oh, is it hard to study for this? It's not. It should take you less than a week to study and pass the test. If it's taking you more than a week, I think something's off, right? So I could just be Asian. I could study a lot faster than most people, but it took me 4 days. So, but it's not hard to study for the test and pass. And overall, you probably have to spend anywhere from $200 up to $300, depends on the state, to actually get licensed, right? Very simple. And once you are licensed within your state, right, now you can go buy the other license from different state. So you don't have to retake the test. Let's say I'm licensed in Texas and I want to be licensed in North Carolina. I can go buy the license and boom, I'm licensed in 2 states. Cool. That's the number one thing. Number 2 thing, who actually runs this industry? You hear people online say all the time, I run a life insurance company. No, you don't. You run a sales team, right? So the way the industry structure is, at the top, the people who actually issue the insurance policy, they are called insurance carriers. So these are the guys that actually underwrite the actual policy. These are the companies that are going to pay out to your client if something happens to them, right? So these are the actual carriers. After that is the IMOs. So this is called independent marketing organizations, right? So their whole thing is that they are the one that have direct contract with the insurance carrier, and under them will be us. So I'm an agent that runs an agency under an IMO, right? So most people, when they come in, they will ask, well, why can't I just go and build an IMO? You can't, because the insurance carrier, they're not gonna give you the contract with them, right? Imagine you run this gazillion-dollar insurance company, and you, who's a beginner, who never sold a single policy in your life, and be like, hey, give me a contract with you. They would be like, no, you're not getting a contract. So if you want to go into the insurance industry and build an agency, you have to be under an IMO, right? So because these are the guys that actually have direct access to them, and depends on the IMO. Each IMO gives you different support system. The one we're with, it's amazing, right? But again, so when people say like, hey, I run a life insurance company, what that means is I run a sales organization that actually under an IMO that's selling a product from the insurance carrier, right? So again, here's how the structure works, and it helps me a lot to understand this, because most are like, oh, so are you independent? What is this? Are you run your own agency? This and that. So again, my agency is within an IMO, and the IMO give me direct contract to the carriers. Number 3, this is going to be your first massive decision. So in insurance, you can either go captive or you go non-captive, right? So what do I mean by that? So captive agency, meaning you're working for one carriers only, right? So you're captive, you're working for one company. So let's say if you go and you work for State Farm, right? You're a captive agent. So independent, aka non-captive, meaning you're a broker, right? So you essentially have access to a bunch of different insurance carrier, right? You run your own broker, and you essentially run your own sales organization. This is the first big decision you have to make, right? I'm gonna break it down for y'all. So if you're a captive agent, there's pros and cons, right? I'm not trashing on captive. I'm an independent. I run my own agency or broker. There's some cons to what I do, So as a captive agent, here's the pro. Number one, you have the brand recognition. If you work for State Farm, everybody knows who State Farm is, right? Because they run like huge advertisement during the Super Bowl and everything. Number two, they sometimes, I wouldn't say all the time, have more structured training. Because again, they just have one company, right? It's just one thing that you're selling. And number three, some captive agency, they give you quote unquote free leads. So the reason why I do quote unquote, I'm gonna explain you that later. The other pro is that no one ever talks about it. This could be better for a beginner who are that broke and who have zero experience in anything. Because again, when you work with a captive agency, there's less risk initially, right? You don't have to, again, you're not your own agent, you don't own your book of business. That's the cons I'm talking about, is that when you're a captive agent, number one, you have way lower compensation. Your comp level is way lower because you're captive. Number two, you have limited product offering. It's because you can only sell your one carriers you have. This might be not the best way to serve the client, because what if the client can get better rate with a different company? Again, you don't actually own your business. So when you sell a client, you don't own that client, right? When you sell a client for a captive company, the company owns the client. So it's just a sales job. So when you're a captive agency, you're essentially just a sales rep. You have quota, if you have requirement, everything like that. You don't get paid high commission per sale. But again, this could be better if you're a straight beginner, right, who don't have any money to invest into building your business. This might be the way for you. For me, I don't want to do that, because I believe that all the guys who make the most money I'm not even talking like 7-figure a year and take home. I'm talking like 8-9-figure play, the $1 billion play. That's when you actually go independent and build your own brokerage. Here's what it means by that, right? The pros of being an independent agent and being non-captive is that you have way higher commission, way higher. It's not even close, right? Number two, you can actually serve the client better because you get to shop around for them. Number three, this is very, very, very important. Business ownership. Number one, you own your book of business. And number two, you actually you build your own thing, right? Because the IMOs doesn't pay you, just so you know. So when you're under an IMO, they're just there, but the insurance carrier is still the one that pays you. So you technically run your own business, right? So with that, as you know, you run your own business, there's way higher upside. But also, the cons is that when something has way higher upside, there's potential risk. So with us, you have to buy your own leads, right? We're not asking you to buy, thousands of dollars of leads when you first join, but you do have to invest some money up front to pay for it, right? And with us, we're not it's more, I guess, more like, obviously we train people and stuff, we make sure that people win, but at the end of the day, we're not going to force you to show up. So if you join my team, if you don't show up, I won't force you to show up, because you are running your own business, and if you do show up, then I will help you out, right? So as a cons there, I think if you're not disciplined, you can't really discipline yourself, you should go captive, because then someone will hold you accountable. But if you're already a guy who knows that you can be disciplined, you can show up into work, you're not scared of risk, you want to make way more money, then just be independent, right? Pros and cons. The fourth thing is the commission structure. So how do you actually get paid out in life insurance? So everyone say all these crazy thing. I'm just going to simplify it for y'all, okay? When it comes to commission structure, there are two things to know. What's your commission and what's your advance? So in insurance, you get paid out on the annual premium. So what annual premium means is that, let's say I sell you a policy for $100 a month. that would be $1,200 in the first year. So your commission is based on the $1,200, not on the $100. So let's just say your commission is that, with us, everyone starts at 70%. Let's say your commission is at 70%. So at 70% times $1,200, that would mean you make $840 commission from a $100 a month policy. From there, your advance is what you get payout up front. So we get payout 9 months up front, so 75%. So out of those $840, you get payout 75% up front, so you get paid $630 up front. And then 9 months down the line, you get payout the rest. With any IMOs, whatever, your commission don't stay at 70% forever. For us, it can go from 70 up to 120%. I think that number is going to go up down the line also. But right now, it's 70% starting off. You can go up to 120%. So people are like, whoa, 120%? This is more than what the year? Yes, you can get paid more than 100% commission. but yeah, very simple. And also, some company, well, most company, you will get payout on the policy for the next upcoming years, maybe like 3 to 5% a year, right? Nothing crazy. That's how commission works. And with that, there's also come chargeback risk because you can pay out 9 months up front. If a client canceled their policy during the advance period, you essentially get charged back on the actual commission itself. Let's say you sell someone, you get advanced 9 months, right? And they charge back month 6. What that means is that the last 3 months, you have to pay that back, right? Obviously, you don't have to go pay it back. It will just come out of your next paycheck when you get paid again from the carriers, but you do have to pay it. The fifth thing here I want to talk about is overrides. So how does overrides work in insurance, right? So obviously you can make a lot of money selling insurance, but you can make a lot more if you know how to lead a team. So number one, like I mentioned there, you can earn commission only on a policy you personally sell. So you tell me, hey, Tony, I don't want to build a team, whatever, which I understand why you don't want to. But if you don't want to build a team, you don't have to. You can still make really good money, right? But if you choose to build a team, then when you recruit and you have new agents join your downline, you can make money whenever they sell a policy. And the way that the override is structured is you earn whatever is the difference in your commission level. So I'm gonna give you an example, okay? Let's say you are at 100% comp. You know how I talked to you about? Everyone starts 70, but now after a couple months, you start selling, you rank up to 100% commission level with the carriers. And someone you recruit comes in at 70%. You're making 30% spread on them in the beginning, right? Obviously, as they rank up, you're gonna make less, but you essentially make the difference in your commission level. And the best part is that when your agent start recruiting teams under them, you will get paid on their team also, right? So let's say you're at 100%, your agent's at 80%, and then from there, your agent recruit 3 people at 70%. So now you make 20% on his entire team, right? And then he makes 10% on his team because it's 100 to 80 to 70, right? So that's where you can see how the override structure can be really, really lucrative because eventually when you have enough people under you, they will start building team themselves, right? So I got to the point, so my team did 260-something thousand last month, and a lot of it wasn't just my direct team. It was people that are a couple of layers under me, and I'm still getting paid on that, and I didn't even put in the work for that, right? So again, in insurance, it's kind of like the way I look at it, you get to a point where you hit escape velocity, and the business will just keep growing without you doing anything. So I'm at this point where even if I stop working, right, I will still make really good money, and my business will still keep growing because people in my business are not going to stop growing. Cool? But yes, so overrides, again, it's just very, very, very crazy when you actually start making money. Because imagine this. Imagine you get to 120% and you recruit someone at 70%. Obviously, it's going to be a long time when you start ranking up your commission. But you get to the point where you hit top comp, you recruit new people. In the beginning, when you recruiting someone, you're making 50% on them, right? So As I say that, my initial question when I first joined was, what happened if my agent ends up getting to the same comp level as me, right? So what happened if I'm at 120% comp, I hit my top comp, and then my agent also get to 120? So you're not gonna like, most people think like, oh, then I stop making money from them. No, that's not how it works. So with us, because the IMO that we're with, they already like thought about this, right? So if I'm at 120 and then someone else get to 120 under me, now with us only, this is only with us, not with, I don't know any other companies doing this, but I now make 4% overrides on his team, non-chargebackable, right? So again, let me re-explain that for you. I'm at 120, someone else gets to 120, now I'm making 4% on their team, non-chargebackable. So even if their team get charged back, that doesn't matter. It doesn't affect my income, right? So I'm incentivized to help people get to 120, right? So again, this is everyone have access to the same opportunity. Me being your upline, quote unquote, does not mean that your comp level will be capped. Everyone get access to the same opportunity. Everyone can get to the same comp level. Cool. The sixth point, leads, right? So in leads, there are pay leads and there are free leads, right? So again, like I mentioned, we do pay leads only. We don't do free leads. So why? With pay leads, right, there's direct mail, there's digital leads, internet leads like Facebook, Google, whatever. There's telemarketing, so like cold calling, or you can buy age leads, right? So with pay leads, you have to, again, this higher initial investment, but way more control and consistency. Because again, you actually control your lead flow, you control how much you make, you get paid way more too. So you remember when I talked about the captive agent, they have free leads, right? So when it comes free, there's a couple of ways you can get free leads, right? You can go solicit your friends and family, which I don't want to do, so I don't do that. Number two, you can go networking events. Again, we don't do that. Number three, you can post content, get cold inbound leads, whatever. We don't do that. Or most companies provide leads for their agent, but even though it's quote unquote free leads, it is very, very cold, right? I heard a story where people are quote unquote getting free leads from different IMOs, whatever, from a different captive agency. And they literally tell me like, hey, I have to dial like 500 people to get a deal, which is absurd. So again, there's pros and cons. I'm not trashing the captive space. I think if you're a beginner, there's some merits to you going, dialing a bunch of people, getting the reps. But I'm past that. I'm trying to build an actual business and make real money, not just trying to be a sales rep. So again, pay leads, way more control, way faster growth, right? Because then you don't have to. The issue with going to a company with free leads is that you have to like quote unquote prove yourself until they give you the good leads. Here, if you have money, you can grow fast. You don't have to prove anything to anyone, right? If you want to buy the best leads when you come in, you can. No one's gonna stop you, right? So again, pay leads, free leads, both have their pros and cons, right? We do pay because you want to attract winners. You want to attract people who actually want to build something long-lasting, not just be a sales rep forever. Number 7, know your product. So again, people hear all the time, so it's mortgage protection, final expense, IULs, blah, blah, blah. Are they life insurance? Life insurance as a whole is just life insurance, right? But in order to market life insurance differently, there's different marketing angle, right? So, for example, mortgage protection is one marketing angle, final expense is one marketing angle, right? But at the end of the day, it's still life insurance. It's still through the same company. It's just framed differently in the prospect mind. Because then most people think these are like two way different things, right? It's not. You're still selling the same product. You're just framing it differently. So mortgage protection is, hey, God forbid something happens to you, we'll pay off your house for you. final expense is like, hey, God forbid something happens to you, we'll pay your funeral costs, anything like that. Again, it's still the same thing, it's just framed differently, right? And obviously, this Index Universal Life IULs, we don't do that. We mainly just do mortgage protection. But there's different products, but at the end of the day, it's just still life insurance. Because I got some people who are just confused on like, hey, what product is this? Is this different than this? Is this still, it's mortgage protection, life insurance? It is still life insurance, right? And the biggest key thing you need to know as a beginner is that just pick one product and just go all in. Just sell one thing and get really good at selling it, right? Most people, when I first come in, they try this, that, I'm going to be the best at everything. You're not going to be the best at everything, unfortunately, right? So pick one thing. We pick mortgage protection. We've been scaling. I got to the point where I was doing $40,000 a month commission. My team is scaling super quick, and we only sell mortgage protection. It's super plug and play. Anyone comes in, read the script, buy the leads, and make money, right? But if you're like, hey, I want to do final expense, commit to that. Whatever you pick, commit. Number 8, this is a very important topic, is life insurance MLM, right? So I get a lot of people saying that, oh, I don't want to do life insurance, too MLM, this and that. So let me explain it to you guys. All MLM means, it's just a way to, it's like a form of distribution for your service or your product, right? So think about it this way. So MLM, all that means is that we sell a product in a multi-level marketing form. So let's say if you start a business, right? You can either go retail, you put your product into the store, you can go e-commerce, you're selling on a website, or you can sell it MLM style, where you're recruiting people, have them sell to other people, and then they recruit. Again, it's just a way to distribute your service and product, right? So when people say they hate MLM, what they really hate is the people who are involved in it. Because why? With any MLM business, right, it's a multi-level marketing. Again, you are incentivized to be a good recruiter. So what happens is that people tend to overpromise income potential. That's why people hate MLM. They don't hate MLM because they hate the way the product's being distributed. They hate MLM because they hate the people who are in it. So what happens is that people who, it's some bad apples that overpromise income potential, like, hey, you can join this and you can make $1 gazillion, right? People hate that. And some MLM company, it feels like a cult, right? They tell you to cut off your family, some crazy stuff. I heard some crazy story, but that's why people hate it, right? So in insurance, it is an MLM structure form where I'm here, I sell policy, I make my money, but my upline also make money from me when I sell a policy. And my upline also make money from my team when they sell policies, right? But the reason why what we do is not hated, hopefully, is because you don't have to recruit, right? There's a lot of MLM company out there that you have to actually recruit to make money, right? With us, I mean, in just life insurance, you don't have to actually recruit to make money. It's optional. You can just build a very successful career and actually make a lot of money by just selling insurance without recruiting anyone at all, right? Secondly, we don't make money when we recruit someone. We make money when our recruit actually sell a policy. There's no upfront fee to join the team, nothing like that. So some company, they charge you an upfront fee to join the team. Now that could be illegal, I don't know, but we don't do that. So if you want to join the team, it's free, and we only make money when you sell a policy. And number 3, we don't tell you to go solicit your friends and family, right? Again, we have leads, they buy leads, we're selling to actual people who want life insurance. And the only reason why people hate MLM is because there's some bad apples. It's kind of like this, right? People hate course seller. People hate, like, I hate people who sell courses. And the reason why they hate course seller is because course seller tend to overpromise what their course can do for people, right? They don't actually hate the course itself. Like, I'm a product of online coaching programs, Right? I invested like 100 grand into online education. I dropped out of college. I invested a bunch of money for courses, coaching program, and I made way more than that back. Right? But I do understand people hate people who sell how to make more money online stuff. It's because there were some bad apples that make them overpromise, and people hate it. Right? So again, there's a lot of misconception when it comes to this. But if you do it right, you do right by people, you can make a lot of money in an MLM. Cool. That was kind of controversial, no, Luis? Huh? But it's true though, no? Okay. So the 9th point, realistic first year earning. And I'm going to give you realistic first year expectation for people who actually going to show up, right? I'm not going to, these are expectations for people who actually going to be consistent, take this seriously, and take this like a full-time thing. And if you're like, whoa, I want to do part-time, don't fucking do it, okay? So if you're going to do this part-time, you probably won't make it. I'm just going to be real. But here, if you do this full-time, and you actually treat it like a full, and at least work 40 hours a week, this is what you can expect, right? Month 1 and 2, and I'm just gonna say after you get licensed, right? Because the licensing process takes like a month. Let's say you get licensed, you start selling. In your first month or 2 of selling, expect to make anywhere from $0 to $5,000 a month, right? I have people who come in, they break even on their first month, they don't make money. I have people who come in, for example, me, I make, I think, close to $5,000 in my first month, net income. Like after lead costs, everything, I make around $5,000. Again, I already have sales experience when I come in. I already scaled my business to $100,000 a month in the past. So I wasn't like a straight beginner. In my second month, I did $15,000. My roommate who lives here, his first month, he net $0. He broke even. His second month, he did $16,000 in income, right? So again, it's very possible you can get to the point you're making over $10,000 within your first 90 days. It's definitely not typical. I can say that. So I would say expect anywhere from $0 to $5,000 a month in net income in the first 2 months, right? Within the month 3 to 6, again, now you're actually learning how to sell the thing. You have momentum. You understand the common objection, whatever. You might have some agents under you because you start recruiting people. You have some team members under you. You could be seeing anywhere from $5,000 a month in income up to $10,000 a month in income, right? I got to the point in my first 6 months, I got to the point where I was doing $20,000 a month take home to $30,000 a month take home. So 20 to 30 grand, right? Not saying that's super typical, but I already scaled another business before this. So I'm not a beginner. But for a beginner who actually show up, buy leads, who call leads, and actually do the work, you can expect anywhere from $5,000 a month in net to $10,000 a month in net within the first 6 months, right? And after the first 6 months, let's say 6 to 12 months, this is where you can actually start really seeing consistent income, right? Because number one, you're going to get better at selling. You become way more efficient. And now you can actually be consistent. So I would say most people here are seeing anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 a month consistently, right? If you're a top performer, you could be netting $30,000 to $50,000 a month. I'm expecting to be netting that. I would say probably around $50,000 a month by the end of the year, right? So again, this expectation thing is for people who are going to show up, right? So if you're watching, you're like, wow, you can make $10,000 in the first 6 months. You're not going to do that if you're part-time. That's just the actual expectation, right? This is for people when I take it seriously. You can take it to in the first 6 months, you could be making $20,000 a month. That's also doable. But it's all based on how seriously are you taking this, right? And most agents who fail, they fail because they got set some bad expectation in the beginning, right? I've heard people who recruit and be like, hey, you can do part-time to make $10,000 a month. Don't believe that shit, right? Like, it's already hard enough doing this business full time, it's naive to believe you can crush it doing part time, right? So this is the expectation here. For most people, if you're a top performer, like I mentioned there, around month 6 to 12, you can make anywhere from 30 to 50 grand a month. And another cool thing that most never thought about too, is very important, I just remember this. After the first 9 months, you remember how you get paid out 9 months up front? You get paid out 3 months down the line. So your income goes up 25% after 9 months. That's another point you have to remember, right? So in the first year, you're going to make less money just because you're not seeing the 25% that's waiting to be paid out down the line. Cool. And next point here is, where can you actually take this business to in life insurance, right? You can take it. I know I know teams that are doing $20 million a month. And think about the guy who runs that team, right? Let's say even if he's netting 10% from his team, which is pretty average, and net 10% overrides on your team, that's $2 million a month. So this career, again, it can make you a lot of money if you play it right? So most people, I come in, I understand, they see this like I'm just going to start selling this and that, but you have to think long term. You can actually build real wealth within insurance, right? Patrick Bet-David, he sold his insurance IMO for like 9 figures. So you can make a lot of money. And if you look around, actually, like, look at all the insurance carrier, like HQ. They have massive buildings. There's a lot of money in insurance. This is a super recession proof because people are going to keep buying life insurance. It's not like real estate. It's not like mortgage, whatever. People are going to keep buying life insurance, right? And if you actually know how to lead a team, be a good leader, you can actually make a lot of money in life insurance. And lastly, this is the point you've been waiting for, how to actually choose the right agency / IMO, whatever it is, to work with, right? Because I've seen this over and over again. Picking the right leader will essentially either picking the right person to work with is like everything in this business. So there's a couple of red flags here, a couple of green flags, okay? Red flags. If they are just flexing a lot, I'm talking if they're just fucking ripping Lambos, all this stuff to sell you the dream, that's a red flag, right? There's no substance to that. Maybe that will get you if you're a beginner, but for me now, I only want to learn from people who can actually show you some knowledge first. So red flag number 1, if they can only show you a Lambo, nice things to get your attention. Because I can tell you one thing, it is not hard to build that perception online, right? Bro, a Urus lease is like $3K a month, right? You can get a Urus, you can put like 30K down and get a lease for like $3 grand. It's not that hard to have a Urus and drive around with it. So again, make sure that the people you're seeing online are providing you actual value, not just showing you, hey, look at me, I'm rich, you can do this too, right? Number 2, when you get on a recruiting call with them and there's no structured training, there's not a clear system to make money with whatever, red flag, right? There has to be a clear, proven system. Number 3, lack of clarity. If you get on a call with someone when they try to like recruit you and you ask them about how the commission structure works and they like beat around the bush and like whatever, they can't answer it fully, bro, don't go there, right? It's kind of like, imagine going on a date with a chick and you ask her like, hey, imagine going on a date with someone and you ask her about her past and she starts beating around the bush and shit, red flag, you know? So, and lastly, this is very key. If they oversell their system, so what I mean by that is like, if they make it seem like they have the silver bullet system, the silver bullet lead that can turn any bums into a top producer, that is not true, right? As you know, in this business, there are going to be people who are not going to make it. That's just facts. If someone tells you something, if you call out leads, you will 100% succeed. If you follow the system, nothing in life is guaranteed, right? So if someone's just overselling the system, trying to sell you the easy way out, again, there's something to that, right? This business is simple. It's not a very complex business, but it's still hard. You still have to show up, right? So if someone's overselling their system, whatever, make it seem like this is the easiest thing to do, they can turn anyone into a millionaire, red flag. So green flag, obviously just the opposite of everything. Good system. You can actually access your upline. Again, you have to know that the people, the guy that recruit you can actually give you value. Right? He's not just a recruiter. He's not just good at selling you, but he can actually like coach you and help develop you. That's very important. Because at the end of the day, winners win. So what I mean is that in insurance, so for example, right, and I'm saying this, I'm really trying to be humble when I say this, is if you put me with any team, I'm going to win. Because I consider myself a winner. And I will always figure out a way to win, right? So the goal is not to find the best. It's obviously, you want someone to have good leads. Like our leads are great. We have like a 25% lead to close, company-wide. So if you buy like 10 leads, you can close 2 or 3 deals. Like amazing numbers. But the key thing that we focus on is to make sure that we can develop our agent to become a winner, right? And there's a lot of coaching there, right? A lot of teaching, how to think, all this stuff. Because at the end of the day, winners win. If you're a winner, you can go anywhere, you can call any leads, no matter the market, you will figure out a way to win, right? If Elon Musk go and build a life insurance company, I guarantee you it will be $1 billion company. Not because of the industry, because of him. So the right agency is someone who can actually break it down. Hey, this is not easy. It's still hard. And we're going to actually teach you and actually develop you as a person to make sure you can actually deal with the hard stuff, right? So again, that's the red flag and the green flag there on kind of what to look for when you join a team. Again, so these are the couple key points you need to look for when you join a team. And I'm not saying our team is the best. I am saying that our team is the best. So if you want to join our team there, click the link down below. You can book a call with me. It will be with me. We can talk to me, and then we'll see if you'd be a good fit. Again, those are some key things there.